WSB.
I so appreciate your support.
I just love you, man, and I look forward to seeing you again. I'm not going to be a stranger.
Listen to his show. Absolutely, 95.5.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, fifth. Go ahead, ask me a question. You fifth. I have a secret document that I think you need to say.
Fifth! Shelley Winter Show live, local, topical, and relevant. That was Fauci today at the hearing. I plead the fifth. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Shelley Winter Show live, local, topical, and relevant. I just want to say this. As a newly self-described independent voter, right? I've been thrown out of the Republican Party here in Georgia. I've been extricated, thrown out because of my support. That really hasn't happened, but, you know, no one's thrown me out. I'm very good friends, still good friends and brother with my brother Josh McCoon. But there are many who will not have me at their events, and I understand. It's okay. I get it. I'm not mad about it or anything like that. I get it. I totally understand. But as a newly self-described independent voter here in Georgia, I realized today while watching, I've always known it to be true, but while watching this hearing, I thought to myself, this is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. The Democrats at one time did not care about the Epstein files. The Republicans did care about the Epstein files. Republicans win, get into power. All of a sudden, they don't care about the Epstein files. Then the Democrat, all of a sudden, they care about the Epstein files. Now, COVID in 2026, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't even remember about COVID. Wasn't on my bucket list of things that I'd be talking about during an election year in 2026. COVID, really? But here we are. And I said, wow, there's a time when Republicans said no one died of COVID. It was all underlying issues. No, you didn't die of COVID. You died of high blood pressure. You had a heart attack, whatever. Then Trump celebrated for pushing the vaccines out and getting them out at warp speed. Actually, the operation was called Operation Warp Speed. And then Republicans celebrated. Look at what Trump's doing. Yay. Then Biden gets into office and Republicans say people are being killed by the vaccine developed by Trump. Democrats were like, Trump's COVID. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. Now we have a hearing. Dr. Fauci is there. Do I want to know certain things? Yeah. But I kind of know them already, right? I know this didn't happen in some wet market in China. We knew that. We knew that when it came up. We knew it was gain of function. We knew that when it happened. We know this was a virus that came out, leaked out from a Chinese lab after being tested. We knew that years ago. What we don't know is how much Fauci might have made from inside trading. I'd like to know that. But he's not going to tell us that. We're going to have to find out on our own. Someone in the DOJ, some FBI agent, some CIA, somebody's going to have to find that on their own. I like to know what the pharmaceutical companies had to do with it. I'd like to know if the maker of the two major vaccines, Moderna and Pfizer, did they have anything to do with donations to Trump because they made the two primary vaccines that were forced upon by the government, upon people to use, thus spending the money. I want to know that. But I don't know if Fauci is the only person that we should be going after. Which brings me to my point as a newly self-described independent voter. This was kabuki theater to me. I don't care. You know what I do care about? I went to a gas station today because I was forced to get gas while I was in the city, and it was $4.39 a gallon. $4.39 a gallon. That's what I care about. I went to Publix the other night. I love Publix. Not their fault. Spent $120 and had one bag. Got everything in one bag. $120. Got everything in one bag. That's what I care about. I don't care about COVID. I do care about some issues around it, but And then I get this guy, Dr. Fauci, getting on television saying I plead the fifth. And I'm thinking to myself, it's kabuki theater. I've got a guy, Josh Hawley. Listen to what Josh Hawley did.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color is the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
This is us? This is a serious country? This is a country, the leader of the free world? The greatest country in the history of mankind? This is us? This is what we are? A sitting U.S. senator reduced to asking a guy what color his tie is? And he says, I plead the fifth? And then everyone say, why can't you just answer the question? Well, because he's playing us right to our faces. Right in front of our faces, he's playing us. And you fed into it, Senator Hawley. I get your frustration. I understand it. But you fed into the entire farcical nature of this entire hearing today. And it's shown in that one clip, which is less than 30 seconds. It's shown. The whole entire farcical nature of this entire hearing was shown right there. So you went to say, oh, okay, well, what color tie do you have on? And he pleads the fifth. Not because he's legally able to or not able to. No, he's doing it to play in your faces. And you allowed him to do that because the entire episode, the entire thing is a farce. This is not governing. This is not governing. This is not helping people's lives get better. What is a government for the people, by the people, if not a government for the people and by the people? This is a joke. And they keep doing it, and we keep playing on our sides, just like sheep on both sides. Democrats saying, yeah, Fauci, get him. Republicans saying, I can't believe he's doing this. Meanwhile, no one's doing the business of the people. Pharmaceuticals still ran off with billions and billions of dollars in profit. Government agents still insider traded to make their couple tens of millions. And life goes on for them. Meanwhile, no one's doing the business of and for the people. No one. And we just allow it to happen. No one says, you know what? I used to, when January 6th happened, I was on the radio. They called us all in. We were all in here. I was sitting right here where I'm sitting right now on January 6th. And I made the comment, I understood that why these people are mad. They've been called names. They've been called stupid. They've been called smelly. They've been called, dregs of society. I understand why they're mad. And I also went as far as to say I wouldn't have run up into the Capitol, but I understand the anger. But you know what? I think back to that time, I was so dead wrong. So dead wrong when I made those comments on the radio right here at 95.5 WSB. You know why I was dead wrong? Because that wasn't righteous anger. That was phony anger. Because if you really are angry enough to run into the Capitol and smash windows and break doors, you should be angry enough to run into the Capitol right now over what they're doing to us on both the Republican and Democrat side. That should make you angry. The fact that a bunch of senators, U.S. senators, 100 of the most powerful people in the world, got together, a committee of them got together to grill a guy who sat there and said, I plead the fifth over and over and over again, and then at the end of it all say, we're going to threaten you with contempt of Congress. Ooh. They're playing in our faces, and we're just all allowing it to happen. You know why? Because half of us are on social media trying to get clicks and likes over our individual take of a farce. And that, ladies and gentlemen, completely explains the nature of the greatest country the history of the world has ever produced at this very point in time. In a word, we're a joke. We'll be right back. It's the Shelley Winter Show. 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB-TALK.